Show me the data again, Jun said. The crew gathered around the main screen on the bridge. Hannah tapped on her pad. The energy signature is coming from this system. A small star with 4 planets appeared on the screen. It's not on any of our maps. What kind of energy is it? Tai asked, leaning closer. I don't know, Hannah admitted. It's not like anything in our database, but it pulses in a pattern. Look. She pressed another button. The screen showed a wave that rose and fell in a steady rhythm. That's not natural, Minna said. Natural energy doesn't pulse like that. Day crossed his arms. So what do we do? Our orders are to stay on course and map gas clouds. Everyone looked at Jun. He stared at the screen, thinking. This was the moment that would define their mission. How far off course would we have to go? He asked. About 3 days, Hannah said quickly. Hope filled her voice. Jun nodded slowly. We came out here to explore. Let's explore. He turned to Minna. Set a course for that system. As the Pathfinder changed direction, Jun thought about what this could mean. If they found something important, it might save their careers. If they found nothing, they would be in even more trouble for breaking orders. The ship moved through empty space for 2 days without problems. But on the 3rd day, strange things began to happen. Commander, something's wrong with our systems. Ta called from the engine room. Power levels are dropping for no reason. Before Jun could answer, Minna spoke up. Communications are going in and out. I can't get a clear signal. The sensors are giving strange readings, Hannah added. They show something is there, then it's gone, then it's back again. Day checked the security systems. Weapons are offline. Shields are at half power. Jun frowned. Is it the ship? It's old. Ta shook his head. No, I've checked everything. The ship is working as well as it can. Something outside is causing this. Just then, all the lights on the ship went out. For 5 seconds, they sat in total darkness. Then the lights came back on. What was that? Jun asked. Hannah's face was pale but excited. I think we're being scanned. Scanned? By who? Day's hand moved to where his weapon should be. I don't know, Hannah said. But whatever technology they're using, it's affecting our systems. It's like they're looking at every part of our ship at once. The ship shook slightly. Another wave of energy passed through it. They're doing it again, Minna said quietly. Jun made a decision. Keep going. We need to find out what's causing this. A day later, they reached the source of the energy signature. It was the 3rd planet in the system. From space, it looked empty. Blue oceans, green land, white clouds. It looked like a smaller version of Earth, but with no signs of cities or technology. Are you sure this is the right place? Jun asked. Hannah nodded. The energy is coming from here, but she looked confused. The readings say it's coming from underground. There's a massive structure beneath the surface. A natural cave system, Ta suggested. No, Hannah shook her head. It's too regular, too perfect. Someone built this. Jun stared at the peaceful-looking planet. So either someone is hiding down there now, or we found ruins of an alien civilization. Hannah finished for him. Her eyes were bright with excitement. The decision was clear. Prepare a landing party, Jun ordered. Hannah, Todd, Da, you're with me. Minna, stay with the ship and keep communications open. As they prepared to go down to the planet, Jun felt a mix of fear and hope. They had come to this empty part of space as punishment, but now they might make the greatest discovery in human history. They were about to find out if they were truly alone in the universe. The small shuttle broke through the clouds. Below them, a vast forest stretched to the horizon. Mountains rose in the distance. It looked like parts of Earth, but no humans had ever walked here. The energy source is 10 kilometers north, Hannah said, checking her scanner. In that valley. Jun guided the shuttle down. They landed in a small clearing among tall trees. The air smelled fresh when they opened the door. Readings show the air is safe to breathe, Hannah said. Temperature is like a cool spring day on Earth. They stepped out wearing simple exploration suits. Day carried the only weapon. The structure is that way, Hannah pointed. About 1 kilometer. They walked through the forest. Birds or bird-like creatures flew above them. Small animals scurried away as they passed. Everything seemed peaceful. It's strange, Ta said as they walked. This place feels prepared, like someone knew we were coming. Day nodded. No dangerous animals. Perfect landing spot. Easy path to follow. I don't like it. June felt it too. It was too perfect, too easy. They'd reached a small hill. As they climbed to the top, Hannah's scanner beeped loudly. The energy source is just ahead, she said. But I don't see anything. From the top of the hill, they looked down at an empty field of grass. There was nothing there. Your scanner must be wrong, Daz said. Hannah shook her head. No, it's right under us. A huge structure. As if responding to her words, the ground began to move. The grass split open, and a path appeared, leading down into the earth. Steps formed from the soil itself, creating a gentle slope into darkness. Did the ground just open for us? Ty asked, his voice shaking. It knows we're here, Hannah whispered. June stared at the opening. This was the moment of truth. We came to explore. Let's explore. He took the first step down the path. The others followed. As they descended, lights appeared along the walls. They weren't electric lights. They looked more like glowing plants or crystals. The path led them deeper. After walking for 5 minutes, they entered a large round room. The walls were curved and smooth. Strange symbols covered them. In the center of the room was a pool of what looked like water, but it glowed with a soft blue light. What is this place? Ty asked, looking around in wonder. Before anyone could answer, the pool of the center began to move. The glowing liquid rose up, forming a shape. It looked almost human, but taller and thinner. It had 2 arms, 2 legs, and a head. But its skin glowed like the pool it came from. Day raised his weapon. June put a hand on his arm. Wait, he said. The glowing figure looked at them. Its face had 2 large eyes that shimmered like stars. Humans, it said. The voice seemed to come from all around them, not just from the figure. We have waited a long time to meet you. Hannah stepped forward, her face filled with joy and wonder. You speak our language. We have studied your transmissions for many years, the figure said. We know many of your languages. Who are you? June asked. We are the Ardani, the figure said. We have watched your kind grow and develop. We have seen your wars and your peace, your art and your science, your cruelty and your kindness. You've been watching us. Day's hand tightened on his weapon. Yes, as we watch many young species, we needed to know if you were ready. Ready for what? June asked. For the truth, the Ardani said. The truth that you are not alone in this universe. There are many worlds, many peoples among the stars. More figures rose from the pool. Different shapes, different colors. Some looked almost human. Others were very different. These are images of some who live in the great concord of worlds, the first Ardani explained. We have debated for many years whether to contact your species. Some thought you were too violent, too unpredictable. What changed your mind? Hannah asked. The Ardani's glowing eyes seemed to smile. You did, not your leaders or your armies, but you, a small group of outcasts who chose curiosity over fear, who came in peace, seeking knowledge. That is why we revealed ourselves to you first. The humans stood in stunned silence. They had come to this far place as punishment. Now they were making history. Humanity's first real contact with aliens had begun. 6 months after leaving Earth as outcasts, the UES Pathfinder approached the orbital station. From the outside, the old ship looked the same. Inside, everything had changed. Earth Control, this is Pathfinder requesting docking permission, Minna said into the communication system. Pathfinder, this is Earth Control. Permission granted. Welcome home. June stood on the bridge, watching Earth grow larger in the view screen. After their encounter with the Ardani and escape from the VAR, they had taken the secret path home. Along the way, they had completed their original mission of mapping gas clouds. Their official report mentioned nothing about aliens. Do you think they'll believe our report? Hannah asked, standing beside him. Why wouldn't they? Jun replied with a small smile. We did exactly what we were ordered to do. We mapped gas clouds in the Epsilon sector. Todd laughed from his seat, with a few extra details left out. Before leaving Ardani space, the aliens had given them gifts. Not technology. That would be too obvious. Instead, they received knowledge. The Ardani had placed small data crystals in each crew member's quarters. The crystals looked like simple stones, but contained vast information only they could access. I still can't believe what's happening, Daz said. A week ago, we were fighting alien enforcers. Now we're back to being simple fleet officers. Not simple, Jum corrected. Never again simple. The Pathfinder docked smoothly with the station. As they prepared to disembark, Jum gathered his crew one last time. Remember our agreement, he said. We keep the truth to ourselves for now. The world isn't ready yet. They all nodded. The Ardani had warned them that revealing everything too soon would cause chaos, or worse, would alert the VAR that humans knew about the Concorde. To their surprise, Admiral Lee was waiting when they stepped off the ship. Lieutenant Commander Kim, the Admiral said with a smile. Welcome back. Thank you, Admiral, Jun replied, saluting. We've completed our mission. So I've heard. Your preliminary reports were very thorough. The Admiral looked at each crew member. In fact, they were impressive enough that I have new assignments for all of you. Jun tried to hide his surprise. New assignments? Yes. Officer Park will be joining the Xenobiology Research Division. Officer Yoon has been requested at the Engine Development Center. Officer Kang is being transferred to our Advanced Communications Unit. And Officer Sung will be training special security teams. The crew exchanged quick glances. These weren't punishment posts. These were important positions. And you, Commander Kim, Admiral Lee continued, will be joining the Academy as an instructor, teaching the next generation of explorers. I don't understand, Jun said. We were sent away as punishment. Admiral Lee shrugged. Things change. People reconsider. Your work in the Epsilon sector showed initiative and skill. As they walked through the station, Hannah moved close to June. This isn't a coincidence, she whispered. These positions, they're exactly where the Ardani would want us. June nodded slightly. The Ardani had promised to help prepare humanity for the wider galaxy. It seemed they had already begun. 3 months later, June stood before a class of young cadets at the Fleet Academy. On the wall behind him was a map of known space, including the Epsilon sector. Today we're discussing first contact protocols, he said to the eager faces watching him. The rules we would follow if we ever met intelligent life from another world. A young cadet raised her hand. Commander Kim, do you believe aliens exist? June thought of the Ardani, of their glowing forms and ancient wisdom. He thought of the VAR and their insect-like bodies. He thought of the countless worlds in the Concorde. The universe is too vast for us to be alone, he said with a smile. And when we meet our cosmic neighbors, it won't be our strengths alone that define us. It will be how we learn from our mistakes, how we turn challenges into opportunities. The cadet nodded, writing down his words. That evening, Jun met with his former crew in a quiet corner of the Academy gardens. Though they worked in different places now, they gathered regularly to share what they had learned. The Ardani were right, Hannah said. Humanity is starting to move in the right direction. The research on guiding. It's getting us closer to understanding alien biology. The engine improvements I'm suggesting will make our ships faster, Tai added. More like Concorde vessels. And my teams are training for all sorts of unusual scenarios, Daz said with a wink. How much time do we have? June asked, his voice steady despite the alarm. The VAR ship will arrive in 1 hour, the Ardani said. Its light pulsed quickly, showing stress. We must prepare. June turned to his crew. We need to decide. Now. Hannah spoke first. We can't let them erase our memories. This is too important. But becoming secret ambassadors means lying to Fleet Command, Ta said. That's treason. Day crossed his arms. And telling Earth about aliens might cause panic. Or worse, our leaders might do something stupid. They all looked to June. The weight of the choice pressed down on him. The fate of humanity might depend on what they decided. We need more information, June said to the Ardani. What will the VAR do if they find us? They will demand we hand you over, the Ardani said. They will scan your minds for information, then adjust your memories. You will recall nothing of us. And if we refuse to go with them? Day asked. They have no authority to take you by force. But they are, not always careful about following rules. June paced the room. What about our ship? Minna is still up there. The VAR will detect your ship soon, the Ardani said. Your crew member is in danger. June touched his communication device. Minna, do you copy? After a moment of static, Minna's voice came through. Commander, the scanners show a ship approaching. It's like nothing I've ever seen. Listen carefully, June said. That ship isn't friendly. Power down all systems except life support. Make the Pathfinder look dead in space. Yes, sir, Minna said. What's happening down there? I'll explain later. Stay hidden. June turned back to his crew and the Ardani. We need a plan. Hannah's eyes lit up. Wait. The VAR don't know humans well, right? The Ardani nodded. They avoid your sector. Then they don't know what we're capable of, she said, or what our technology can do. Tai caught on quickly. We could use that. Something unexpected. June felt a plan forming. Ardani, can you hide us here? Yes, but not for long. The VAR have ways to detect life forms. We don't need long, June said. Just enough time to prepare a surprise. For the next half hour, they worked quickly. Ta modified their communication devices. Dad prepared their only weapon. Hannah studied the information the Ardani showed her about VAR biology. June coordinated it all. The VAR ship has entered orbit, the Ardani announced. They are hailing us. Let me hear, June said. A harsh voice filled the room. Ardani observation post. This is VAR enforcement. We detect unauthorized contact with quarantine species. Prepare for inspection. The Ardani's light dimmed. They will land soon. Good, June said. Let them come. But first, we need to get a message to our ship. The Ardani helped them send a coded transmission to Minna. Then they moved to a different part of the underground structure, a place the Ardani said the VAR would check last. I need to know, June said to the Ardani as they waited. Why did you really contact us? Why risk breaking your own laws? The Ardani was quiet for a moment. Then its light shifted to a softer blue. Because we believe humanity has a special role to play in the future of the galaxy. You think differently than other species. You see possibilities where others see only rules. Like us, Hannah said. The outcasts. Yes, you were sent away as punishment, but you turned it into discovery. That is the human way. The ground above them trembled slightly. They have landed, the Ardani said. June looked at his crew. Remember the plan. We only get one chance at this. Day checked their weapon. And if the plan fails? June met his eyes. Then we've made our choice by default. We become the first humans to fight for Earth's place among the stars. As they heard the sounds of the VAR entering the structure, June realized they had crossed a line. No matter what happened next, They could never go back to being simple survey ship crew members. They were now humanity's first defenders in a galaxy they never knew existed. The command room of the Pathfinder was small. The 5 crew members sat around an old metal table. Lieutenant Commander Jun Kim looked at each face. These were his outcasts. "Let's introduce ourselves," Jun said. "I want to know who you are and why you're here." Hannah Park spoke first. She tucked a strand of black hair behind her ear. "Science Officer Hannah Park. I spent 8 years studying possible alien life forms. I found patterns in space signals that suggested intelligent design. My superiors called my work dangerous speculation. They said I was seeing things that weren't there." She shrugged. "Maybe they were right, but I still believe." Next was a tall man with strong hands and tired eyes. "Chief Engineer Taeyun. I refused to approve a new reactor design for the fleet's flagship. I said it wasn't safe." His voice was deep and calm. 1 week later, they found out I was right. The reactor would have failed. But instead of thanks, I got this assignment. The fleet doesn't like people who say no to them. Beside him sat a small woman with short hair and alert eyes. Communications Specialist Mina Kang. I broke the rules. She smiled without humor. A meteor shower was heading for a civilian colony. There was a communication blackout order in effect because of military exercises. I sent the warning anyway. Saved 2,000 lives. Got sent here. The last man was broad-shouldered with a scar across his chin. Security Chief Dae Sung. During a boarding operation, I used force that was called excessive. The pirates had killed 3 of my team. I made sure they didn't kill more. His eyes were hard. The fleet wants soldiers who follow every rule, even when the rules get people killed. June nodded. "Thank you all for your honesty. It seems we're all here because we did what we thought was right, not what was easy." He stood up. "This ship is old. Our mission is boring. And none of us wants to be here. But we are here, so let's do our jobs well." For the next week, the crew worked to prepare the Pathfinder for deep space. Ta spent long hours fixing the engines. Hannah checked the science equipment. Minna updated the communication systems. Dae made sure the few weapons they had were working. June learned every part of his small ship. On the 8th day, they left Earth's solar system. Their mission had officially begun. They were to map gas clouds in the empty Epsilon sector. It would take 6 months. In the quiet hours of his shift, June often found Hannah in the science lab. She would stare at the scanner readings for hours. "Still looking for aliens?" he asked her one night. She didn't look up. "Someone has to. The universe is too big for us to be alone." June didn't argue. Each crew member needed something to hold on to. For Hannah, it was her belief in alien life. For Tai, it was the perfect running of his engines. For Mina, it was receiving signals from distant human colonies. For Dae, it was his daily combat practice. For June, it was becoming a good captain to this strange crew. By the 3rd month, they had settled into a routine. The ship moved from one empty part of space to another. They mapped gas clouds and recorded the data. They ate meals together. They shared stories. They became more than a crew. They became friends. Then, on a day like any other, Hannah burst onto the bridge. Her eyes were wide, her hands shaking. "Commander," she said, her voice barely a whisper, "I found something." On the main screen appeared a pattern of energy. It pulsed in a way that was too regular, too perfect to be natural. "What is it?" June asked. Hannah's eyes were filled with a mix of fear and triumph. "I don't know, but it's not natural, and it's not human." The 5 outcasts stared at the screen. In the empty part of space where no one wanted to be, they had found something that would change everything. The Ardani led the humans deeper into the underground structure. The walls glowed with soft light that seemed alive. They entered a large room that looked like a map room. In the center floated a 3-dimensional image of the galaxy. "This is our home," the Ardani said, pointing to a bright point of light. And this is your Earth. The map zoomed to show a small blue dot in another part of the galaxy. There are many worlds between, the Ardeni continued. Hundreds of points lit up across the map. These are the worlds of the Concord. Hannah stared at the map with wide eyes. So many, all with intelligent life. Yes, some older than your sun, some younger than your nations. June stepped forward. If there are so many, why haven't we detected them? Why haven't they contacted us? The Ardani's light dimmed slightly. That is the hidden truth we must share with you. Your world, Earth, is under quarantine. Quarantine. Day's hand moved to his weapon again. Like we're sick. No, the Ardani said. Like you are growing. The Concord has rules about contact with developing worlds. Worlds must reach certain levels of technology and unity before open contact is permitted. So we're not advanced enough, Ta said. It is not just technology, the Ardani explained. It is about readiness, about how a species might react to learning they are not alone. The map changed to show Earth surrounded by a faint barrier. The quarantine keeps Concord ships away from your world. It prevents signals from reaching your receivers. It hides the truth until you are ready. Who decides when we're ready? June asked. The Concord Council votes, but the Ardani paused. The Concord is not united on this question. There are different views about Earth. The map changed again. Colored lines appeared between worlds, forming groups. The Concord has factions. Our faction, the Watchers, believes in careful, guided contact. We think humanity shows great promise. One group of stars glowed blue. Another faction, the Shapers, wants to help humanity develop faster through secret intervention. Another group glowed green. But the strongest faction is the Var hegemony. A large group of stars glowed red. They see humanity as a threat. They believe your kind develops too quickly, too aggressively. They want to limit human expansion, or the Ardani didn't finish, or eliminate us, Day said coldly. The Ardani's light pulsed. The Var have tried to slow human progress in small ways. Computer failures, lost research. They work in shadows. Why are you telling us this? June asked. Why now? Because things are changing, the Ardani said. The Var grows stronger in the Concord. They push for stricter measures against Earth. We Watchers believe humanity deserves a chance to know the truth. Hannah stepped closer to the map. So what happens now? Do we tell our leaders? That is the difficult question, the Ardani said. By Concord law, first contact should lead to one of two outcomes: full disclosure to your authorities, or the Ardani's light dimmed again. Or what? Tai asked. Or memory adjustment. You would forget meeting us. The humans looked at each other in shock. There is a third option, the Ardani continued. One that breaks Concord law but might help humanity prepare. You could become secret ambassadors. Return to Earth, keep our meeting secret, but work to prepare humanity for the wider galaxy. That would mean lying to our own people, Jun said. It would mean protecting them, the Ardani replied, giving humanity time to grow ready for the truth. Before anyone could respond, a sound like an alarm filled the room. The map vanished. The Ardani's light flickered with what looked like fear. What's happening? June asked. A ship approaches. Not human. The Ardani's voice was urgent. It is Var. They must have detected our meeting. You must decide quickly what path to take. The Var will not be kind if they find you here. The humans looked at each other. Their punishment mission had become something far more dangerous. They now carried the future of humanity on their shoulders. They're gaining on us. Minna called from the command chair. On the screen, the Var ship grew larger. It was 5 times the size of the Pathfinder, and much faster. Just a few more minutes, Ta said from the engine room. His voice was strained. I'm almost ready. June stood on the bridge, watching the Var ship. Hannah, what did you learn about their systems? Hannah looked up from her screen. The Ardani told me their ships use a mix of technology and biology, living parts and machine parts working together. And what happens if those parts don't work together? June asked. A small smile grew on Hannah's face. Chaos. The Pathfinder shook as the VAR ship fired a warning shot across their path. Attention human vessel, a harsh voice came through the communication system. Stop your engines and prepare to be boarded. Resistance will not be tolerated. June ignored the message. Tai, are we ready? Yes, Commander, Tai replied. But we only get one shot at this. Then we make it count. June turned to Hannah. The gas clouds we were supposed to be studying, what were they made of? Different elements, Hannah said. Some had high levels of hydrogen. Others had. Her eyes widened. Oh, I see what you're thinking. June nodded. Minna, send a message to the VAR ship. Tell them we surrender and are preparing for boarding. What? Da looked shocked. We're giving up. No, Jum said. We're buying time. Ta needs them to get closer. Mena sent the message. The VAR ship slowed and moved into position above them. They're preparing to dock, Minna said. Perfect. June turned to his crew. Everyone hold on to something. This will be rough. In the engine room, Ta had connected the ship's gas analysis equipment to the main power system. The Pathfinder wasn't built for battle. It was built to study the elements in gas clouds. Now they would use that system in a way its designers never imagined. Ready, Commander, Ta said. Do it, June ordered. Ta pressed a button. The Pathfinder's collectors, normally used to gather gas samples, now released a carefully tuned pulse of energy. It wasn't powerful enough to damage the VAR ship's hull, but it wasn't meant to. The pulse hit the VAR ship. For a moment, nothing happened. Then the alien vessel's lights flickered, its engines sputtered. It's working, Hannah exclaimed. The pulse is disrupting the connection between their biological and technological systems. The VAR ship drifted sideways, its movement erratic. On the communication system, they heard confused clicking sounds. What did you do to them? Dai asked. Their ship is partly alive, Tai explained, returning to the bridge. Our pulse confused the living parts, like giving a person a strong dizzy spell. It won't last long, Jum said. Let's get out of here while we can. Mena set a course away from the VAR ship. The Pathfinder's engines strained as they pushed to full speed. Behind them, the VAR ship was already beginning to recover, but they had gained valuable time. We're getting a transmission, Mena said suddenly. It's from the planet. From the Ardani. Put it through, Jun ordered. The Ardani's voice filled the bridge. Human friends, you have done something remarkable. You stood against the VAR and escaped. This has never happened before. We got lucky, Jun said. No, you were clever. You used what you had in ways no one expected. This is why we believe in humanity's potential. The screen showed a new image. It was the underground chamber they had left. Many Ardani had gathered there. Our council has made a decision. The Ardani continued. We offer you an alliance. Unofficial but real. We will share knowledge with you, help you prepare for the day when Earth joins the Concord. And what do you want in return? June asked. Your perspective, your creativity, your different way of seeing problems. The Concord has become set in its ways. Perhaps humans can help us find new paths. June looked at his crew. They had come so far from being outcasts on a punishment mission. We accept your alliance, June said. But we need to get home first. The VAR ship will be after us soon. Follow these coordinates, the Ardani said. There is a path through space that the VAR do not know. A safe way home. As the Pathfinder changed course, the crew felt a new sense of purpose. They were no longer just explorers or outcasts. They were humanity's first allies with an alien civilization. The punishment mission had become something much greater. It had become the beginning of humanity's future among the stars. Heavy footsteps echoed through the underground structure. The VAR had arrived. June and his crew stayed hidden in the small room where the Ardeni had taken them. "They're coming closer," Dai whispered, gripping their modified weapon. Through a small opening in the wall, they could see the main chamber. 3 tall figures entered. They looked almost like insects standing upright. Their skin was hard and dark green. They had 4 arms and 2 legs. Their heads had large black eyes that moved in different directions. "Where are the humans?" one of the Var demanded. Its voice was harsh and clicking. An Ardeni appeared before them. "There are no humans here." "Lies." The lead Var pointed a device around the room. "Our scanners detected human life signs. You have broken the quarantine law." "Your scanners are wrong," the Ardeni said calmly. The Var moved closer to the Ardeni. "We will search this entire structure. If we find humans, the punishment will be severe, for them and for you." In their hiding place, Joan checked the communication device Ta had modified. It showed a blinking light. Mina was in position. "Get ready," June whispered to his crew. "Remember, we need to get back to our shuttle." Hannah nodded. "The path is about 30 meters from here. We'll have to run fast." "The Var are trained fighters," the Ardeni had told them. "But they have weaknesses. Their joint armor is thinner, and they rely heavily on their technology." June pressed a button on his device. In the main chamber, all the lights suddenly went out. The Var made sounds of surprise. "Now," June said. They burst from their hiding place. In the darkness, Dai fired their modified weapon. It didn't shoot bullets. Instead, it sent out a pulse of energy that disrupted the Var's electronic devices. Their scanners and weapons stopped working. "Run," Jun shouted. They raced through the dark halls, guided by the Ardeni's soft glow ahead of them. Behind them, they heard the angry clicks of the Var in pursuit. "They're following us," Ta called out. "Just keep moving," Jum said. "Minna should be." A loud boom shook the entire structure. Dust fell from the ceiling. "What was that?" Hannah asked, still running. June smiled. "That's Minna. Right on time." Before they left, they had asked the Ardeni about the Var ship. The Ardeni had explained how it worked. Then they had sent Mina instructions to use the Pathfinder scanners to find its weak spots. The Pathfinder might be old, Jun had told his crew, but its scanners were designed to study energy fields. And energy is energy, whether it's in gas clouds or alien ships. They reached the surface and ran toward their shuttle. In the sky above, they could see the Var ship. It was large and shaped like a spike. Small explosions flashed along its side where Minna had fired the Pathfinder's simple mining charges. The charges weren't powerful enough to destroy the ship, but they had created confusion, just as Jun had planned. "There they are." A Var voice called from behind. Day turned and fired another pulse from their modified weapon. One of the Var fell, its systems disabled. They reached the shuttle just as the other 2 Var emerged from the underground entrance. June sealed the door as Tai started the engines. "Hold on," Ta called as the shuttle lifted off. It shot upward, shaking violently. On the ground, the Var fired at them. A few shots hit the shuttle, but it kept climbing. "Minna, we're coming up," Jun said into his communication device. "Be ready to leave fast." "Already ready, Commander," Minna's voice replied. "I've got the engines hot." As they broke through the atmosphere, they saw the Pathfinder waiting. The Var ship was turning, recovering from Minna's attack. "We did it," Hannah said, her voice filled with wonder. "We stood up to them." "Not yet," Jum said. "We still need to get away." The shuttle docked with the Pathfinder. As soon as they were aboard, Tai ran to the engine room. "I have an idea," he called back. "Something the Var won't expect from an old human ship." As the Var vessel turned to pursue them, the humans prepared for the next phase of the battle. The outcasts of Earth against the enforcers of the stars. Lieutenant Commander Jun Kim sat alone in his small apartment. The room was dark except for the blue light from his datapad. He read the transfer orders again, hoping the words would somehow change. They did not. After 15 years of good service in the United Earth Defense Fleet, his career was over. One mistake during a training exercise had cost him everything. June threw the data pad onto the couch and walked to the window. The lights of New Seoul stretched out below him. He pressed his forehead against the cool glass and closed his eyes. Reassignment to the UES Pathfinder, he said to the empty room. Survey mission to the Epsilon sector. Everyone in the fleet knew what that meant. It was not a reassignment. It was punishment. It was the end. The Pathfinder was an old, outdated survey ship. The Epsilon sector was empty space far from Earth. His new job would be to catalog gas clouds for 6 months. His career would die in the silence of deep space. June's comm unit beeped. He ignored it at first. Then it beeped again. With a sigh, he walked over and answered. Kim here. Drinking alone, old friend. The voice belonged to Admiral Lee, June's mentor for many years. Not yet, June said, but the night is young. Admiral Lee's laugh was warm but sad. I tried to stop this, June. I want you to know that. I know. The politicians needed someone to blame. The training accident made the news. People died. I didn't cause those deaths, Jun said. His voice was tight. The safety systems failed. I followed protocol. I know that. Many of us know that. But Fleet Command needed a story for the public. They needed a person to blame. The Admiral paused. You were in charge, so they chose you. Jun said nothing. There was nothing to say. The Pathfinder leaves in 3 days, Admiral Lee said. Report to Orbital Dock 7. Yes, sir. This is not the end, Jun. Keep your eyes open out there. The universe is full of surprises. After the call ended, Jun packed his few belongings. 15 years in the fleet, and everything he owned fit into 2 bags. Pictures of his parents, who had died when he was young. A few books. His uniform. Not much to show for a life. 3 days later, a shuttle took him to Orbital Dock 7. Through the window, Jun saw the UES Pathfinder for the first time. The ship was small and old. Its hull showed signs of many repairs. It was designed to carry 20 crew members, but Jun knew there would only be 5 on this mission. 5 people who had fallen from grace. The shuttle docked with a metallic clang. When the door opened, a young officer was waiting. Lieutenant Commander Kim, she said with a salute. I am Lieutenant Hannah Park, Science Officer. Welcome to the Pathfinder. Hannah's uniform was crisp, but her eyes were tired. Jun had read her file. She was a brilliant scientist whose theories about alien intelligence had made her superiors uncomfortable. The fleet had sent her here to be forgotten. Thank you, Lieutenant, Jun said. Let's meet the rest of our crew. As they walked through the narrow corridors of the old ship, Jun noticed the flickering lights and heard the uneven hum of the engines. Everything about the Pathfinder felt tired and forgotten, just like its new crew. But as they entered the bridge, Jun made a decision. He stood up straight and put on the face of a commander. Lieutenant Commander Jun Kim, he announced to the 3 officers waiting there. I'll be your commanding officer for this mission. Let's make the best of it. In the cold darkness of space, the UES Pathfinder's engines came to life. The punishment mission had begun.